Hey, it's Trackstar GG's, back with another video in Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. Now that the Coiled Captors DLC is out, I like to roll my clip of predictions from the previous video. Content drop, Coiled Captors. The Coiled Captor DLC will begin in Dreamville Overlook. If it plays out like Shattergrave Barrow, I would really enjoy it. If it's more of a hub, like Chaos Chamber, I'll be kinda sad. The notes for Coiled Captors say it's 4 replayable dungeons, but it also mentions 4 content drops. The wording in the notes is terrible. This is why I don't buy season passes. They can potentially be talking about a lot of different content or the same content. I believe the Mirrors of Mystery are the 4 separate content drops, and we will only be able to enter 1 mirror for the first DLC. I hate to say I told you so, but I told you so. This DLC is not fun, and I'm sad my worst predictions were correct. I just want to help because I'm sad. I spent $30 on the season pass right before release. After the purchase, I recognized the download was only 10 MB. I was instantly worried. My suspicions were confirmed. Dreamville Overlook is the worst season pass DLC content drop I have ever played in a video game. It turns out it's exactly what I expected, but even less. This video will feature harsh, direct criticism with cynicism and joy for the aspects of the game that do work as intended for player fun. I'm not a sponsored gamer yet, and even if I was, I would never hold back my true opinion about a product. That being said, there are no positives to this DLC, and I would recommend not purchasing it, but it may interfere with who you can play with if you don't buy it. The Chaos Chambers have stages and items from Dreamville Overlook when you finish the boss the first time. I believe, without the DLC, you may not be able to use the weapons or cosmetics dropped from DLC 1, but you will still have the opportunity to receive them in loot drops. I'm not sure if this is true yet, but it worked this way with cosmetics that could be picked up from the season pass, although you didn't have access to the pass. Since there aren't any positives to this DLC, I will begin with everything I dislike, starting with Dreamville, the Chaos Chambers, the looks of the future DLCs, and gameplay ideas, mechanics, fixes I think the game can add to make players continue playing. The opening scene of this DLC is an animated GIF. The Dreamville Overlook map is built just like the Chaos Chamber, except the reward for loot is always available in the Wheel of Fate. When you complete the mirror in Dreamville Overlook, you gain a secondary currency, Lost Souls, which you can use to get loot rewards from the Wheel of Fate, 1 drop at a time. In a party of 4, this applies also, as you can see in the footage provided in the background. This Wheel of Fate can drop level 40 loot with no chaotic, volatile, or primordial title. The bunnies drop 5 to 7 items at a time, so why would I ever come back here and use this if the loot can be gained in the Chaos Chamber room with bunnies? In this content drop, there are 4 new levels within the mirror and 5 including the boss. The overworld dungeons have near the same content as the DLC. The huge difference is the new DLC content has 2 time pattern sections. The first, Sign of Incompetence, is quest objectives that require you to wait while water fills a room. Once the boss is finished, all levels and loot drops are now available for rolling Chaos Chambers. This DLC was so depressing, I don't ever plan on going back to Dreamville Overlook. I'm so disappointed. I'm going to talk about ways that Gearbox can fix the game by tweaking elements to make it fun for people to play, starting with the Chaos Chambers. Note the positives here. Moon orbs are good, infinite enchantments are good, average 3 rolls per chamber, skullduggery weapons are fixed, there are a few new UI fixes, and overall, the flow of the game feels good. Now, for what I think they can add to make it more satisfying. I'm yet to tap into the full potential of the primordial class because I can't get a shotgun with wings, an element, or an SMG with wings and element for the life of me. These bunnies are chubby. That's a good segue into my series of fixes. starting with crystal drops and the ability to turn them off, which doesn't exist. I hear a lot of players with epilepsy complaining about the color explosions that are consistently happening on their screen whenever they kill an enemy. I too can agree because I myself am colorblind, and there aren't any colorblind options in this video game. I believe that there should be an option to turn off crystal explosions, and there should also be options for colorblind players. Next, the loot room post-dungeon should have vending machines instead of bunnies, except in the vending machine, it's an endless scroll of loot with question marks for loot that you haven't unlocked yet. Let me explain. Currently, vending machines have 12 slots by default. If loot bunnies were replaced with vending machines, the vending machines should have 12 slots with question marks when open. When the player spends 500 crystals, 6 slots should instantly open, revealing random loot from the loot bunny, which in this case is a vending machine. The player can then choose to spend more crystals in the loot machine for an additional 6 new items. If this method is implemented, I'm no longer a peasant-ass peasant searching through legendary and epic items, crouching on the ground in front of bunnies for minutes at a time. I also won't have to worry about my weapons disappearing on the floor when I use too many crystals on too many different bunnies. I like to be a part of the solution, not the problem, and I believe this is the best quality of life change that Tiny Tina's Wonderlands can make for the in-game currently. Now to fix the Chaos Chambers. I believe Chaos Chambers should upgrade players' stats at a rate equal to the math required to get the numbers I'm about to present at Chaos level 35. At Chaos level 35, players should get a passive boost of HP of 300 to 500% health and a passive boost of damage from 40 to 70% damage overall by reaching Chaos 35. Next, I believe when you hit Chaos level 20, you should no longer have the opportunity to get regular weapon drops. These are weapon drops without chaotic, volatile, or primordial stat. Gearbox should also get rid of the ability for chaotic, volatile, and primordial stats to spawn on uncommon and common weapons and loot. The chaos levels will feel a lot more meaningful if these weapon drops stop happening as a result of being above Chaos 20. At Chaos level 35, chaotics feel like uncommon weapons. Lastly, for the Chaos Chambers, let's discuss the curses and the nerfs that I believe they required. Roguelite, Searing Tether, Stay Back, Elemental Overflow, Toothless, Nasty Spill, and Magma Breach need nerfs. They are too powerful. Roguelite should have fight for your lifetime, not instant kill on death. Searing Tether and Stay Back damage should be reduced by 50%. Enemies always get close. Elemental Overflow should not completely eradicate damage for an entire status effect. It should quarter them. There is nothing worse than getting Elemental Overflow with dark magic damage resistance on the side bosses. Toothless should be 50%, not 80% critical damage reduction. Nasty Spill and Magma Breach puddles persist for too long, and the time that they last after they begin should be at least halved, because spicy water is still spicy. This DLC was named Mirrors of Mystery, which alluded to more than one mirror, but since only one is present, and you can see 4 in the trailer for the season pass, compounded with the fact that we were able to do all 4 boss phases day 1 for this DLC, I have no faith in this season pass. I feel as if they already have the content finished for the remaining 3 DLCs. If this is the case, there may be a way to save this game before it dies a miserable death due to lack of engagement. I do have a way in mind that they can save the game if this is true. If the remaining content is finished as I suspect, Gearbox can release all of that content in DLC 2. This would include the remaining 3 mirrors and the 7 DLC characters, along with the opportunity to get Ascendant loot drops, and adding in Chaos level 50, along with a way to New Game Plus with Chaos mode active and replayable missions with quest reward drop rates that will allow for chaotic, volatile, primordial, or ascendant quest reward loot drops. This would add replayability, something Tiny Tina's Wonderlands is severely lacking at the moment. I have even more ideas to make the game have more content and improve it, but I don't want to hold you too much longer. That being said, thanks for checking in. Trackstar GG's, checking out. Do not subscribe.